Sometimes, you come across a story and it's so disturbing, it really makes you question human nature.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely.
A horrific crime in Hyderabad, India.
Hmm.
A retired soldier is accused of killing his wife and then taking these extreme measures to try and dispose of the body.
It really is a chilling case.
It is, and you know what makes it even more intriguing? The body still hasn't been found.
That's right. It adds a whole other layer to the investigation.
So let's break this down. We're talking about Gurumurthy, a retired soldier who was working as a security guard,
Right.
and his wife, Pudavgada Madhavi.
Yes.
So the alleged murder is said to have taken place on January 15th.
Mm-hmm.
But her family didn't actually file a missing person report until January 18th.
3 days later.
Now, initially, Gurumurthy told her family, she left after an argument.
Trying to cover his tracks.
But later, he confessed to the crime.
Yeah, a confession which, as we'll discuss, has its own set of complications for the case.
Absolutely, and we'll get into that. But first, I think we need to talk about the details, because they are truly horrific. What allegedly happened after he killed her?
Well, it's really hard to even talk about. He allegedly chopped up her body, boiled the parts, can you imagine?
In a pressure cooker.
Yes, for 3 days.
It's just unimaginable.
He even allegedly ground the bones with a pestle and then dumped the remains in a lake, Meerpet Lake.
It's like something out of a horror movie.
It is, and it's really disturbing to think about the level of premeditation involved.
That's what I find so chilling. The planning, the execution.
Yep.
It's almost more terrifying than the act itself.
I agree with you. That level of calculation, it makes you wonder what could drive someone to do something like this.
Well, that's what we're here to try and understand. As of January 23rd, the police are still treating this as a missing persons case.
Because they haven't been able to find her remains.
All right, even though they've had clue teams and a dog squad searching the lake. But they're saying they plan to change the case to murder soon and actually arrest Gurumurthy.
The evidence seems to be pointing that way.
Now, we know that the couple had been married for 13 years.
Lived in Laguda.
And their 2 children, thankfully, they were away at the time they were visiting his sister.
Right.
But what could possibly lead to this? What's the motive? I mean, we don't have all the answers yet.
We don't, and that's part of what makes this case so fascinating and so disturbing, really.
It really is. It's like looking into the abyss of human cruelty and trying to make sense of something that seems utterly senseless.
Exactly. And it's our job to try and shed some light on that darkness to see if we can understand the why behind this horrific act.
And that's what we'll continue to do as we delve deeper into this case.
It's a tough one, it really is, because the lack of a body, it really complicates things.
It does, but I imagine it doesn't completely stop the investigation, right? I mean, there's got to be other ways to gather evidence.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole field of forensic science, really, that focuses on cases just like this.
I guess in a way it becomes like this puzzle with some missing pieces,
Yeah.
And investigators have to kind of get creative to try and fill in the gaps.
Exactly.
So what kind of tools do they have at their disposal in a situation like this?
Well, think about it this way. Even if they don't have Madhavi's remains, her presence in that house, it would have left traces, right?
Yeah.
Things like hair fibers, skin cells, maybe even blood stains that were missed during the initial cleaning.
Right.
And all of these can be analyzed, for DNA.
Oh, I see.
Which can then be used to place her at the scene and potentially even link Gurumurthy to the act.
So it's like those crime shows where they're like swabbing everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what if he, cleaned everything really well, like really thoroughly? I mean, how would they even find those microscopic clues?
Well, that's where specialized lighting techniques come in.
Oh.
Things like luminol. Luminol reacts with even the tiniest traces of blood, makes them visible.
Oh, wow. So they can see it.
They can see it. And, on top of that, they'll be going over the plumbing, the drains, even that pressure cooker, looking for any biological material that might have been left behind.
It's amazing what technology can do these days, right? It's like, even when you think you've erased all the evidence, there's always a way to uncover those secrets.
There is.
But what about the lake? If he dumped the remains there, wouldn't that be almost impossible to find? It's like a needle in a haystack.
It's a challenge, no doubt, but not impossible. You see, they can use sonar technology, they can scan the lake bed, and that can help them search for any unusual shapes or densities that might indicate human remains. And then, divers can go down to investigate further.
So even if they don't find the body itself, they might find other things, like clothing fibers, maybe personal belongings, even bone fragments, Right, and I hate to even say that.
Exactly. And even if those items are, degraded, scattered forensic anthropologists, they can actually reconstruct skeletal remains, determine things like age, sex, cause of death.
It's crazy how much you can tell from even a tiny piece of bone, right? Like how much information is stored in those fragments.
Yeah, a lot.
But let's say, hypothetically, they don't find anything conclusive in the house or the lake. Is Gurumurthy's confession enough to get a conviction?
That's a good question. Confessions, they're tricky.
Yeah.
Legally, they carry a lot of weight, especially if they're supported by other circumstantial evidence. But the defense, they could argue that the confession was coerced, or, that Gurumurthy was mentally unstable, not in his right mind when he confessed.
Right, so it kind of becomes this battle of narratives then. The prosecution is trying to paint this picture of a calculated killer, and the defense is trying to humanize him, maybe portray him as someone who just snapped under pressure.
Exactly. And both sides, they'll be poring over everything, looking for inconsistencies, gaps in the timeline, anything that supports or contradicts Gurumurthy's story.
It's almost like watching a chess match play out.
Yeah?
With every move having these huge consequences.
Yeah.
And all the while, you have the public watching, waiting for answers, hoping for justice for Madhavi and her family.
Absolutely. And I think it's really crucial to remember, beyond all the legal aspects, this is a real human tragedy.
It is. It's about really listening to survivors, giving them a platform to share their stories without being judged. And it's about holding abusers accountable, not just legally, but socially, culturally, making it clear that violence is never okay.
Right. This case, as awful as it is, it shows us that the fight against domestic violence is far from over. But it also shows us the strength of the human spirit. Even after something this tragic, people still want justice, they want to heal, they want to build a better future.
And to everyone listening, we urge you to be a part of that. Find out what resources are available in your community. Support those organizations that are working so hard to end domestic violence. Be that person who offers compassion and understanding to someone who might be suffering in silence.
Remember, change doesn't happen instantly. It takes time. It takes effort. There will be setbacks. There will be victories. But every step, every act of kindness, no matter how small, it brings us closer to that brighter future.
This has been a difficult conversation to have, but so incredibly important. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this has sparked some new thoughts, maybe brought up some tough questions, and most of all, that it has ignited a commitment to creating a world where these kinds of stories become a thing of the past.